What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. I know it's been a while. It has. Guys, you guys out there in the heat, God bless you. I care about the city letter carrier 100%. I haven't been out there with you guys in a little while. I'll let you know in a second. But I did hear that management was out there passing out waters with this little heat wave we've been having throughout the country. It was bad out there the last couple days, especially the last 3 days. Close to 100 degrees. I know you guys are out there. I saw someone in LLV from VMF, and I asked the guy. I thought he was a carrier. I said, it must be tough. He says, oh, it's tough for you guys, the ones that got to drive these. And he's right. And our president wants to get rid of the new electric vehicles, right? Make it make sense. Anyway, we're not going to go there. Guys, I've been out. The last time I touched base with you guys was when I was asking for your support and your help to create a petition to urge President Renfro to resign from his position. Unfortunately, that man is as tough as nails. All right. Our petition did do good. I believe it did. We got 1,013 not subscribers, 1,013 supporters for that petition. Okay, that was phenomenal. Okay, I didn't expect that many people. That just shows me that what I'm doing here works. Okay, and it could become a little discouraging when you don't have the support behind you. Okay, sometimes I don't know if what I'm saying on this podcast resonates with anybody. So I become a little reclusive. Okay, and that's not why I stopped posting. So unfortunately, I suffered an injury at work. Okay, I haven't been working for a while now. I'm probably gonna be out for even longer. All right, guys, I tore my ACL. All right, it comes with the job. Okay, we do this kind of work. We're walking, we're twisting our knees and in uncomfortable positions, and it's just a result of you know the daily grind. All right, that's why I said I support you guys. I understand what it is to be out there in the heat, and I'm not out there right now, and I feel bad. Okay, I feel bad that you guys are suffering through that. But this too shall pass. We know that. All right. Back to the petition. Having 1,000 people support me was amazing. Okay, going forward, I am still in the mindset that we got to change things. All right, but I think I want to switch focus and how we do it. All right, I think rather than wasting our time with endless pursuits of things not gonna happen, like filling out these petitions with nothing coming out about them. I think the real work has to happen with a couple branch members, like myself included. Okay, the guy out in LA. Okay, Golden Tourist. We're gonna need his help 100%, and we're gonna need at least like a liaison in each branch. All right, someone that listens to the videos, whether it's mine, whether it's JH, whether it's Mailman Nick. We need to come collectively. And my idea is that one branch writes a amendment to a resolution, get it passed in their branch, and then it spreads like wildfire throughout the rest of the other branches. So that when we go to the convention in LA, we could vote on it. And the best way that I think that we can change our current situation is by hitting the pockets of the national officers. And what I mean by that is if we can't get the national president to resign when they understood that they did wrong by the membership, well, the membership has the power to amend his pay. Okay? I think, me personally, unconscious thoughts, I think that the president should not get paid over 2 times the base salary of the maxed out carrier. So let's call that 80,000 times 2 is 160. That gives your boy in office a pay cut of almost half of what he's making right now. And when someone's making $300,000, I'll tell you one thing first. They forget about the people they represent. The people on the lower level, me and you, the city letter carrier, especially the ones underneath us, the CCAs, forget about it. They don't exist when it comes to people making $300,000. When they make that kind of money, you know who their best friends are? The politicians on Capitol Hill. Okay, they're so worried about being in the pockets and having the support of the representatives in Congress that's where all their efforts go. And so they forget what's happening on the lower level. Okay, they forget what's happening in the streets of Brooklyn. You hear me, Brooklyn, Dre? They forget about what's happening in Tallahassee. Okay, they forget about what's happening in Compton. All right, I'm not from LA. They forget about what's happening in Connecticut. All right, Massachusetts. All right, New England. I'm from New England, boy. They forget what it's like being out there in 100-degree weather. And I don't have any confidence that any president or any future president is going to understand the necessity of the opinion of the people that are doing this job. The city letter carrier has to have his voice and his concerns echoed, okay, through the halls of the Postal Service upper management. Our contracts have to reflect the things that are happening to us. Okay, we have to be paid effectively. We need to change the hiring process, guys. We need to change the hiring process. We have to go back to a civil service exam. 100%. I know you see it, and I love this career, okay? But unfortunately, some of the people that have been coming on, I don't know. It seems like we're hiring anybody. You know, it's like if you're warm and you're breathing, you could come work for us. All right. And if I'm offending you, well, you know what? I'm talking to you. All right. Why are we not wearing our uniforms? We're coming to work half dressed. We're not wearing shoes anymore. Okay. Why are we not doing the job we're supposed to? Okay. Why are we not forwarding mail? Why are we not doing change of addresses? Why are we not maintaining our mailboxes? Why are we not maintaining our routes? All right. Let's not become part of the problem here. All right. Let's remain professional as city letter carriers. Okay. We're not going to digress our work ethics and attitudes because we have some internal issues. That's going to give a setback. We need to be better. All right. We need to get that civil service back for the new carriers coming in. Okay. We need dedicated people. Okay. We need people that understand that this is a career, okay? Understand that we are the face of an organization, okay? That we are a service provided for the people, okay? By the people, because the people pay our salary, okay? I know I'm going to lose a lot of people here, but you know, if the situation continues where route adjustments and the reduction of routes are being forced upon us, guys, and the Postal Service is complaining that there's no mail. If we get overtaken by a department in the government, it may not be a bad idea. It may not be a bad idea. If the taxpayers start to fund our salaries, it may not be a bad idea. Think about it. It may not be a bad idea. If we do not have to raise our own money by selling stamps, then we are guaranteed our salaries, whether there is mail or whether there is not mail. It may not be a bad idea. We'll be just on par with every other government agency, like the FBI, like the military, like the Department of Social Service. We will be an essential service for the American people, okay? We are the only agency that has to provide its own budget, make its own money, okay? Maybe that made sense in the 70s. Maybe it did. Maybe it lasted the experiment of the last 50 years. But today, with the cost of everything, today with the uncertainty of the service itself, okay, we need to develop what we're good at, okay? We need to understand who we serve, why we do it, okay? If it's a part of the Constitution, well, you know what? Maybe it's time for us to go back under the president's executive board. Okay, just like you have the Department of Education, just like you have the Department of Homeland Security, you have the Department of Justice. Okay, well, maybe we need to be the Department of the Post Office again, and no longer the Postal Service. That's just a food for thought. Don't kick my butt on that. But if we do that, okay, our union won't be wasting hundreds of thousands of dollars for all these union executives at high positions not doing crap shit for the guy in the lower level. And our raise would have been just on par, okay? Just on par, the 1.3%, just like we got with a private union, we could get that guaranteed through the government, okay? Maybe we'll have a hiring freeze. Maybe we need a hiring freeze. Stay with me. Maybe if we were under the government again, we'll have a civil service exam, guys, and maybe we'll get qualified candidates again. Okay, maybe, just maybe, your starting raise will be increased enough where it's a competitive job, because now as an official government job, it has to compete with the private sector. Okay, and maybe, just maybe, we could bring some business back to the Postal Service. Okay. Besides that, I think the only other thing is that they're going to send us in the road of privatization, but that's not going to be fought against by our union, because we know who our union's best interest is, and it's not us. It's not us. It's the people that run the Congress, and the people that run the Congress, best interests are the corporations, and the corporations want the piece of the business that the Postal Service serves, and that's every American in this country. I'm digressing. But I wanted to come back on and just let you guys know that you guys are encouraging me to become a better person. Okay, I'm trying to learn as much as I can so that hopefully we can change something. So my idea is simply, if enough branches, okay, create the resolution to amend the pay of the national president, okay, if Renfro don't want to resign, we'll get him out one way or another, okay? And after he gets a pay cut of 50%, he's going to say, you know what? Maybe it's not worth the hassle, okay? But you know who should get paid? You know who should get paid? And you know what we have to do? We got to fight for the union stewards, okay? Because if we fight for the union stewards, okay, the guys that are thinking about the best for the guys like you and me, the city letter carrier, the guys that are representing sometimes 60 members in one office, okay? The guys that get no recognition, okay, but always are the ones to be complained about, like, oh, my steward didn't do this, my steward didn't do that. Well, maybe you didn't understand that your steward's also fighting 10 or 12 more cases at the same time he's fighting yours, and he has no support from nobody else, okay? So rather than pay the national president and some of these national business agents and their liaisons that are getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, why not we keep the local money, okay, local, and start paying our shop stewards what they deserve? And why are we charging shop steward dues? Do you guys know that? Do you know that your shop steward is paying dues just like you? But why? Think about it. Why is he paying $800, $900, $1,000 a year when he's representing you? Okay, what is he getting from the local union? $300 every 3 months? Okay, do the math. If he gets paid $300, $600, $900, $1,200, right? But he's also paying $1,000 in due, your boy is making $300 a year to represent you. Okay, and then you wonder why these shop stewards are doing half-ass jobs? If we raise the pay for the union stewards, what's going to happen? More people are going to think of it as an attractive position, right? Stay with me. And then what's going to happen? More people are going to run for it, okay? So it's going to be a tighter election. But more importantly, the best candidate is going to win, okay? And then you're going to get a shop steward in there that actually knows what the freak they're doing, okay? Because if not, what happens is you get shop stewards in name. No one else wants the position because of the hassle, the no recognition, and the horrible pay. No one wants that position. So the people that run for it run uncontested, and they get it. And then they become shop stewards in name. And just because they're a shop steward doesn't necessarily mean that they know the contract and they're ready to defend you. All right, guys, so that's another thing I was thinking about while I was sitting here wasting away at home. All right, guys, and then, There's other things that we got to fight for as a union, but as much as it's going to kill you guys to hear me say it, that's all about us becoming united as one. And I'm going to stick to my guns on that 110%. And I know you guys clown me on that, like, oh, I'm all happy-go-lucky over here talking about kumbaya. Well, you know what? That's how it has to be. For this union to remain a union, which, you know, use that word loosely, it has to be by the people, okay? And the people are me and you, okay? If we're gonna change the structure up top, well, you know what? We need to change how we are with one another. Okay, we need to put political differences aside, religious issues aside, okay? Your social economic issues aside, but we need to understand why we are together, and that is the NALC, okay? And we need to support our brothers and sisters and stand united, especially when it comes against anyone who opposes our main cause. And I think our main cause is to enforce and educate members on their rights under our contract. All right, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep studying up and share the information that I find out with you guys. And this is just like a update because it's been like 60 days since I've been on the tube of you. So anyway, guys, that's where I'm at. I hope you guys are doing good. I know a lot of people receive their raise. I know a lot of people receive step increases. I know that the whole back pay issue is something you guys are waiting on. From my understanding, sometime in August, we should be getting that nice little chunk of change. Don't forget, everyone's back pay is going to be different. Okay, it's based on how many hours you worked, how much overtime you worked, what rate you were underneath the time that the contract lapsed. For example, I was a CCA, then I was a step A, and I was a step B. So they need to understand and formulate what I needed to get under all three of those pay scales. Okay, so I'm just one person. I got a fly in my room. That's gross. I don't even have an open window. Makes no sense. But even in my situation, knowing that I was three different pay scales, you know, it's difficult. So doing that for 600,000 people, well, 220,000, 280,000 people, city letter carriers, might take some time. It shouldn't take that much time, but you know what? Let these people have their time. They have the right to manage. We have the right to be heard. All right? And I want to hear what you guys got to say. And I appreciate you guys listening to what I got to say. All right, guys. Until next time, I'll be here. You'll be there. Peace.